non-metals go together. Such as, if you burn carbon and you have plenty of oxygen to go around, you get CO2. But if you burn carbon, such as coal, and you don't have enough oxygen to go around, you get this substance. Now notice, also in the category, two non-metals. Because two non-metals going together usually come up with more than one substance, depending upon experimental conditions. Obviously, I just can't say carbon oxide. Yes, it is binary, so we know it's going to be an oxide, but we've got to designate how many oxygens, because this stuff is super toxic. It'd be nice if you had a sign on the door or on the tank of the stuff, this is carbon monoxide, and you would be super careful with it. Carbon dioxide is not nearly as toxic. In fact, we're sitting here breathing the stuff out. Now, if you got in a room that's 100% CO2, it's going to kill you. But we're breathing this stuff around us all the time. So we got to have a way of naming it. This is the one and only place we use prefixes. And mono means one. Let's see. Di means two. Tri means three. Tetra means four. Penta means five. And anything beyond that, I would write on the board as a hint. Like hepta is 7, or hexa is 6, hepta is 7, and so forth. But if you know these. Now here are the rules. Again, the rules are arbitrary. If the first one is 1, you say nothing but the name. Carbon. But if the second one is 1, you got to say mono. However, they don't say monoxide, because in their infinite wisdom, they didn't like two vowels back to back. And so they say monoxide. So they don't like monoxide, monoxide.
So when we first started off, we had CaO. Why was there calcium monoxide?
Okay, was that two non-metals going together?
Yes.
Calcium?
Oh, I'm sorry. No. Okay, so if it's two separate metals, then it's gonna,
Metal and a non-metal.
Yeah.
You don't use those prefixes.
Okay.
Good, wonderful point. It's only, my students typically love mono, di, tri, and they try to use it way, way, way too much. Like Nikki just wanted to use it. It's only when you have two non-metals. This dies, tries, kick into gear. So we've got carbon monoxide, and that's all written as one word. I got a little break in there it shouldn't be. Okay? So we don't go O, back to back, they slash one. Then, if we went to this one, Eddie, what would you call it?
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide. Perfect. Perfect. So let's, if you burn sulfur, you can get these two things and it's the same story. If you burn sulfur, you got plenty of oxygen around, you'll get this. If you don't have so much oxygen around, you get this. Now here's your thinking process. If this is just out of the blue, you look at it and I go name it. You got to think, two non-metals. I get to use the prefixes. So for this first one here, Nikki in the third row, what would you call it?
Sulfur dioxide.
Perfect. Sulfur dioxide. 2 words. Sulfur and then dioxide. Okay, here. Mono, of course, means one, like monorail at Disneyland and Disney World. Di means two, just like bi can also mean two, but they use di here. Nobody said chemists were consistent. We say binary compounds to mean two. Here we say di to mean two. And tri versus ter. They use both, but here they're using tri, the more common one. Okay, so this was sulfur dioxide. Liz, I have this. It must be sulfur trioxide. If you remember that song I played from Hair one day, it was about sulfur dioxide. And one of the few songs I found with chemicals in it.
So it's kind of with a variable and non-variable.
Yeah.
How do you know the difference between a non-variable and a variable?
Because Because you got a list, if you know the family, in the A families, you got a pretty good handle on what's its charge, and they never vary. Iron could be 2 or 3, depending upon how it feels that day.
Okay.
But calcium's always +2,
It's
tough
pretty much the
luck.
A family and the B family.
Yeah, it's the difference in mostly, however, these guys are